there is something all of you should be doing right now before the patch hits. Now, this character is on the PTR, the public test realm, and it's using the version of the game that will release this March for the East Asia server launch party, right? And here's the big thing. When you go to create a guild on this new version of the game, look how expensive it is. 1 million silver. Okay, now this is to combat people making their own guilds so that you can get early laborers in the first few hours of playing, obviously, right? And I don't know 100% for sure if this change will affect the West Realm. However, I'm banking that it will, because it would be a pain in the ass to have two separate patch versions for two separate servers. There's no reason the West side won't also get charged 1 million to create their own guild. So what I'm telling you to do right now is log in and make a bunch of accounts, make a bunch of characters, run them through the tutorial so they get that 30,000 focus, of course, and give them, access to whatever islands you may have now or whatever funds you have now, and create a bunch of guilds. Just create the guilds, and you can always build on them later. I'm going to be doing some building just to show you that it's not really that expensive for West players. For East players, I don't know the prices on launch day. I don't know how expensive stone is going to be. It's going to be expensive. I don't know exactly all the full details, but you can see right now, this is on the PTR, 1 million gold, or I'm sorry, 1 million silver to create a guild. That's insane. That is 10 times more expensive than it currently is. Okay, so this is weird. I'm on the live server, and it's only 7,160 to create the guild. Okay, sure, yeah, that's really cheap. That's a little too cheap, honestly. So here's what you need to do, okay? Just make a bunch of Albion Online accounts, alright? Because it's only like 7,000 something silver to make a guild instead of 1 million. Use Gmail, Proton Mail, Yahoo, Hotmail, whatever. Just use any kind of email accounts that you're familiar with. Make a bunch of email accounts, make a bunch of Albion Online accounts. This is not against the rules. It specifically says in their terms of service, in-user license agreement, all that fancy stuff, that you are allowed to play and operate multiple accounts. Everyone knows this, okay? Once you've made these accounts, and you've made the guilds and the guild names and whatnot, write them all down. So, like, I would open a text document and be like, swolebenji69420 at protonwhatever.com, password, blah, 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 and, the character names and the guild names and all that stuff, okay? You also need to give each of these accounts silver to be able to make these guilds, though technically it's if it's only 7,000 silver, you get this through doing the tutorial. Just pick up some rough stones for like a little bit. It's super easy to get, but you will need silver on these characters to make the guild islands eventually. But just by forming the guild now, you will save millions of silver later down the line on the West server. The price to make a guild island on the new server and the price to upgrade a guild island is the exact same as the current patch on the West server. So don't worry about that stuff. Just make guilds, make a bunch of guilds on a bunch of accounts, and just hold on to them, because if you're a new player, at some point you're going to want guild islands for laborers and storage and other useful things like building your own crafting stuff and whatnot. And you're just for one thing, like when I made a chef character, I made a bunch of different characters and I put a bunch of different crafting stations on them specifically for my chef to use. Because, for example, if I go to Bridgewatch, there's one mill. There's like one mill in the town, right? Well, what if I needed to make milk or something, or flour or whatever for cooking in Bridgewatch? Well, I would have to transport it from somewhere else. Like Caerleon might have some mills, right? Because it's the cooking capital city. Yeah, they have a bunch of mills, but obviously, like, does Limhurst have a mill? Probably not. Last time I checked, they didn't. So you're going to want to have these guilds, and you're not going to want to pay 1 million freaking silver every time you need to build some mills for your chef or whatever. I don't even see a mill. Do you see it? There's no mills. Yeah, there's still no mills in Limhurst. At least I don't see any mills. Maybe it's there. I'm sure someone in the comments will point it out if there's a mill here now. But the point is that you spend 7,000 silver now, and you're going to have to pay millions later. So make a ton of accounts and buy guilds on them and just set on it. And you'll be fine. You'll be future-proof. You'll be safe. If you want to know how to transfer silver to make guilds on these new accounts, because you won't be able to just sell gold and then buy it back on those characters because it's a whole different account, then I have a video just for you that I've made a while back called The Best Method to Transfer Silver. Let me get rid of the text here so you can see the thumbnail. It says only use this method. And it goes over all the methods on how to transfer silver, but it also tells you why one method is the absolute best and why other methods not so great, but you can still do them if you think they're more convenient for you in that way. But yes, just go check out that video. Just type it up in the search or my channel search, and you can find it pretty easily. And that will help you transfer silver to make all of these guilds. You have to do this now before the patch hits. Now, normally I would only warn my channel members and Discord members of this. If you want to become a channel member, it's $5 a month. Click the join button down below. It's just like on Twitch when you subscribe to someone, but it's on YouTube. You get access to private, more personal videos, exploit videos, duplication videos, and all that kind of stuff that's too good for the public. And I would say that this one would generally be too good for the public because I'm literally saving you millions of silver by doing this method. However, I think it's a huge injustice and it's way too expensive. I can't believe no one's complaining about this yet. I don't even know if they know about it, honestly. But the fact that SBI is not allowing new players to make their own guilds is a huge detriment, because they want you to pay for premium to get your own personal islands, but because you don't need premium for guild islands, this is the way to do it. And even then, 1 million silver is still cheaper than, what, 17 million silver? So yeah, it's still the cheaper method, but currently, you're only paying 7,160 to create a guild, instead of 1 million. That is 99% cheaper to do it now. Oh my god, it's so insane. I can't believe they're doing this. And I just had to get the word out there. I know this video is very niche, and over time, this video won't have a use. But I hope that I'm saving you money. Like, it's absolutely imperative. Just, like even if you don't plan to use a guild, or maybe even play this game very long, just having that in your pocket, just knowing that you have a guild. And even then, if the guild has a cool name, you could probably trade it or sell it to another player for way cheaper than 1 million, because they'll be like, I want to make a guild, but it costs 1 million. What do I do? And you'd be like, well, I'll give you mine for 50,000 or 100,000 or whatever. And you're like, yeah, sure. And so I'm sure someone out there is going to make hundreds and hundreds of guilds now. You know, they're going to save a lot of money in the future, because, look, someone like me who played this game anywhere from 4 hours a day to 12 hours a day, sometimes 19 hours a day, I ended up with hundreds of islands, hundreds of guilds. And even then, that's not enough, because if I start new crafters and I need new crafters or just storage in other towns, I'm going to make a guild island real quick on an alt character so I can have houses and storage and crafting stations accessed from that town. Like, here's another thing too, like saddlers. Okay, most towns have a saddler. We'll go to Bridgewatch. Most towns will have one of these little well, are they gone? Oh, there's one. There's only one. And look at oh my goodness. If you wanted to make like a tier 3 ox or a tier 3 horse, you're paying 3,943 per 100 nutrition. That's robbery. You can make your own tier 4 saddler for like cheaper than one transaction on this entire station. Like, everyone should have a saddler at every town if you want to, there's a lot of market opportunities, too, with a lot of these crafting stations that I'm not going to get into, because that's not what this video is about. But the point is that you're going to want multiple guilds for multiple reasons in multiple towns. There's no benefit not to do it now, because it's only 7,000 silver. It's literally like, you pick up a few rocks off the ground and you can pay for it easy. Guys, I had to get this out. That's all I've got. I'm Soul Benji. Thanks for watching. As always, be a pro and stay swole. Videos every day on this channel. I hope this one helped you. Go out there, make a bunch of accounts, buy a bunch of guilds, and just set on them, because they're gonna get 1 million silver each. Here's the thing, SBI is trying to pigeonhole new players and poor players into being slaves for the Black Zone guilds. That's how they want the player base to play. That's how the thing is like, they made this game the way that for them to want to play it. Like, a lot of the employees play the game, and a lot of the employees are in these top guilds, and guess what? Because I exist, they're not getting a lot of new recruits, because they realize that it's a scam, it's a sham, they're getting robbed of their time and their money by joining these guilds, being forced to do CTAs and other crap they don't want to do, all for little pity hand-me-outs and access to their guild stations, which aren't that good. You can just do these yourself and way less time, with less hassle, less social pressure. I hate having to wake up and play a video game. I hate having to set an alarm to wake up to do CTAs or do raids. I like to play on my own time, of my own volition, of my own free will. And SBI does not like players like me, so they're raising the damn price of making your own guild, which is ridiculous. So start making these guilds now. I don't know what else I can say. Thank you so much for watching. Video on the right side of the screen. Videos every day. Make sure you're subscribed. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Take care. Check out the pinned comment, too, for a video.